Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Here we are fighting CPS and stop taking our children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and it's a warm welcome. Um, I also want to welcome David Hilago. Hello, David. Glad to see you here. Um, uh, I guess you got your court case on Monday up in Santa Barbara. Anyway, he has Vincent Davis working for him. He's one of our regular members in here. David, are you there? Hello, David. I think you're here, David. I see your name, and it's a warm welcome. Now, to text a message, all right, we got David calling in. Good. Hello there, David. How you doing?
Hey, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. You got tomorrow's your big day, right?
No, I had court yesterday.
Oh, wait, what is today? Oh,
Today's
Saturday.
Saturday.
It's Friday. Oh, okay. How did it go? I want to hear about this.
Oh, it's quite interesting. I have to be careful what I say and how I say it because I don't want to give away too much. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I got to finally meet Mr. Davis in person, and I have a whole completely different perspective on him because I will tell you honestly, he's very bad at communication, of long distance communication, and I told him so. But I told him I had faith in him and his abilities, and that's why I hired him. It was a huge expense. It's not cheap, but you do get what you pay for. And watching how he conducts himself, I am fully impressed with who he is and what he can do. And unfortunately, my case has been postponed again for the fifth time.
Wow. Wow.
And so what happened was they knew that I had over 15 witnesses on my behalf. Yet they had a traveling judge instead of the regular judge. And why they picked that date, I don't know, but it upset me. And the judge said, very nice judge. He said, I'm not the regular judge. I'm just a traveling judge. And I can't start this case because you need 2 days, in order to get to your witnesses. And so he said, I'm going on vacation and I can't cancel my vacation, so you will have to postpone it if you agree. So Mr. Davis asked me if that we agree to postpone this because we want to do this right.
Right.
And it's to our benefit to make sure we get everything out the way it needs to be. And so I agreed. Tuesday, we have a hearing. Mr. Davis will appear video, and I will go in person because the last 2 times that I was going to appear by video, they never let me in the room. So there's something fishy with that, but to avoid that, I will go in person, and we will agree on the next trial date. It will have to be back-to-back days. And
Now,
so
why is Vincent Davis going to be on video? Why is he not there in person?
Because it will just be a hearing to establish the new date for trial. He will be there in person for my trial.
Oh, okay. This is a new date to establish your hearing.
Yes, the trial hearing.
Okay. Let me tell the yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the only thing that's going to happen on Tuesday is we're going to get with them to see what the calendar looks like, so we can get 2 days to set my new trial date.
Okay. So I'm going to tell the people in this room. There's a couple other people in here. Let me see. We have Sammy from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Sammy. And that sounds good. Now, David Hilago is from Santa Maria. His court case is in Santa Barbara County, and it's about him alleged of misconduct with his daughter. And the confusion, his daughter's only 9 years old, and the daughter is vacillating between what she thinks happened, what didn't happen, and she's being encouraged by her grandmother that she's staying with. The mother's not in the picture. Okay, and an aunt. I'm sorry, the aunt. The mother's not in the picture because she has some issues and she's I guess, sign away her rights. Is that correct, David?
Yes, I had my daughter since 2019 by myself.
Okay. So he's had his daughter since 2019, but apparently this aunt has either coached her or like he's done something negative to her. I'm not going to go into detail about what has been accused of, but I think David has the people that can back up as witnesses. Vincent Davis is convinced he's innocent. He's defending him, and he has a good attorney. I really believe that he'll do his job, and I think David got
And I
this.
passed the lie and I passed the lie detector test conducted by a retired special agent of the FBI with 22 years of experience heading their polygraph program. I went and I took a lie detector test at his office that passed.
Yeah, but the results of the lie detector test are probably not admissible in court unless you have the FBI agent there.
That's going to happen more than likely. But
Yeah, I know
I did
that, but I'm just
exactly what
trying
I
to give
read.
you a heads up. They have a tendency
Yes,
that they allow their social workers to say whatever they say and they never have to back it up. But if we, the plaintiff, say something, we had a test done, we had this done or that paper, they don't believe it. You actually have to have the author or the person that did the testing or whatever the case would be show up in court. I think that's wrong. And I'm just telling you a
oh,
heads up.
absolutely. They put the parent at a huge disadvantage. But I will tell you, like I said, I want to say hello to all your viewers, and this is a great channel to get a lot of information, and Bob is a blessing to help everybody. But I do want to let everybody know that the court system in the United States, there is no equal justice. You are at a disadvantage as soon as you step in the juvenile courtroom. They do not have the best interest of you or your child. They think they're doing their job the best way. They think that they're right no matter what. And unfortunately, I have lived it and I have seen it. They will lie to perpetuate their agenda and accomplish what they want because they have, that a certain immunity. But in my case, I have suffered a great deal. I can't tell you the nights I've cried myself to sleep over this injustice, the fear that I live with the police possibly coming to try to arrest me. I've got PTSD with that. I've had to talk to a private psychologist once a week to help me maneuver all this stuff. The damage that they have done to me, but to my daughter is just, it cannot be repaired. My daughter had the vocabulary of a 9-year-old when this started, an innocent one. Now she knows the anatomy of a woman. She knows all these other words that I read in the report. They perpetuated this. CPS has abused my child by taking her here and there to be poked and prodded and questioned. And they found my sister who gave them, nothing but lies. They believed in that. And then I've seen the reports that they wrote. The reports for CPS are 99% just full of inaccurate and false information that they submitted to the court. And the lies that we discovered now is just, like I said, I'm not going to go into details, but I don't think that they're aware of the fact that when Mr. Davis was there, he uncovered quite a bit of information that has been withheld and swept under the rug that would have exonerated me earlier on. So I will tell you now, I'm not a conspiracist, and I never believed in things like that. And I always thought that you got a fair shake in this country, in the judicial system, that there is justice for all and that was right, but it is not. And you have to be careful. And I hope that people have the means to protect themselves, because if you don't have deep pockets to fight them, they will railroad you. They will do whatever they want, and they know how to manipulate the system to form to conform with their agenda. And that's the sad thing. If you're with limited means, you will lose your children, and it's a terrible thing. And so I'm living a nightmare. Everybody who's been with me would never have believed this if they had heard this story from somebody else, but they've been with me from the beginning. And I have a very tight network of people who are very influential, very important people in my community, people who are lawyers, who are my friends, who have been there to support me as character witnesses. And, I'm very grateful that people have gone above and beyond, because they saw that the injustice that's been done to me. And it's really disappointing to see how CPS knows the truth, and that they continue to hold on to this agenda. And I don't know if it's because better now, and I have a lot of peace of mind. I'm at peace. God is with me. Like I've always said, nothing can be done without having faith in God. And these injustices will one day they're going to be corrected. And like I said, Mr. Davis, I was upset with him because he's not a very good communicator because he is very busy. But when it comes time to get things done, he has my absolute confidence after speaking with him and watching him in action. And after that hearing, we went and we had coffee and we stayed for about 2 hours together. And with some of my other lawyer friends who are there as support and my private detective, and we discussed a lot of things about the case. And I think Mr. Davis is exceptionally pleased with how things are going to pan out.
Good. I'm glad to hear about that. I do want to mention that. Have you told Mr. Davis how you've had help on this my show? Have you told him what I've done for you?
Now, getting to that, I told him that I know you. I told him that I have a friendship, not just as a guest, but that we have a rapport. And I told him that we've had a friendship, and that that you have provided me with a lot of great insight, and that you're a tremendous asset to him. And he was very happy to hear that. He likes you a lot. And yes, I did mention to him how important you were and your advice towards me, and to believe in Mr. Davis and all of that. Yes, absolutely, Bob. I gave you your recognition because you've been very important to me. You've been a lot of support for me when moments that I felt very down in the dumps, but you've motivated me. You've been an exceptional pillar of strength and support for me, and I don't have words to describe how grateful I am to you. And I let him know everything you've done for me.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. I just want the people in this room that come in here to recognize that this live stream that I do twice a day does help out people. I mean, not only your case, but I know there was a medical trafficking case that I was able to resolve, and the child was kept in the parents' hands, and now they have a lawsuit against them. I helped them get an attorney and helped them matter. It took me about a week, but every day I worked with them, I got them done. There's another one that's working with the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978. Um, Choctaw tribe. The father is a full-blooded Choctaw, and his children now are going to be in the hands of the Indian tribe, and they'll be out of the hands of CPS and hopefully be family reunification. So I just want everybody to know that this live stream is here for you guys. It's me to help you, whatever it takes to benefit. Um, it is like a chess game. CPS is a chess game, and you try to move your pieces in the right spot, and you have lots of different pieces with lots of different moves. That's what CPS is like, and fighting them is like open heart surgery. It's very technical. You need somebody like Mr. Davis who can navigate the CPS and knows it inside out. And that's what you're lucky to get with him.
Yeah, his experience and the way he handled himself, he knew how to fish. Let me put it to you that way. He knew how to get information, and he got it quick. And key facts that are paramount for me, he was able to get that out of people, and it blew my mind away. And so, like I said, he discovered a lot of things that have been swept under the rug and that were kept secret. And so I can't wait to have my day in court in trial because it's going to be quite interesting. Like I said, I'm not going to give away too many details, but information they thought we would not uncover, we have, and I'm very pleased. And like I said, let's see what happens in the future because they violated my civil rights, taking my daughter away without having any evidence against me. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. And so, how can they justify taking my daughter? They're going to have to answer for that in the near future. Because you can't just take a daughter because they want you. We don't live in the times of the Gestapo. There's supposed to be checks and balances, and there's not. The CPS does they're like a dictatorship. They do whatever the hell they want to do, when they want to do it, and how they're going to do it. But this time, they
Yeah, yeah. I hear you on that. I hear you on that.
So there will be no compromise, you know. And when things are said and done, I'm going to bring a lot of light to the situation and the people who did me wrong. You know, I'm going to get justice. And like Mr. Davis told me, at 4 in the morning, Friday morning, he sent me a message and he says, "I'm not going to let you down." And so that meant a lot to me.
I
And
agree.
you know, as soon as Mr. Davis showed up, first thing he told me, "We got this."
That's good. That's good. That's the
You
kind
know,
of
for a lawyer
talk.
to make
That's the
statements like
kind of
that,
talk you
a
want to
lawyer,
hear from an attorney. That's the kind of talk you want to hear.
yeah, because you never hear that out of an attorney. An attorney does not have a crystal ball. An attorney cannot guarantee your results. He is just a tool. But for an attorney to tell you straight up, "I'm not going to let you down," it's because he knows.
Well, he's been doing this for 39 years.
Exactly.
And
And
so
he
he,
saw the case against me.
yeah,
He's seen the facts. He's seen what they've done. And he knows that they're in the wrong.
yeah. The
And
hardest thing you're going to
everyone can't
do, the hardest thing is going to do is to get the mind of your daughter changed. That's going to be the obstacle.
It won't take long. As long as I have my daughter with me, it won't take long.
Well, you know,
Because she'll be
she's
out of the
been
clutches.
coached, she's been how can you say brainwashed to think horrible things
Yes.
about you. Okay, she's been
Right.
coached and brainwashed. And that's going to take
Well, we're
time.
going to have to go to therapy.
Yes, yes. And it's probably going to have to be something got you a lot of crow. You probably have to do a lot of therapy before she's fully reunited with you because what CPS has done and her aunt has done and her grandmother has really ruined the relationship between you and her.
But you know what? We're not going to negotiate that. I told Mr. Davis, it's not going to be, I will sue them. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to spend another day away from her than what I have to because, like I said, there was no evidence against me whatsoever, and they tried. And then they tried to sabotage me too. The hospital never showed up. They were subpoenaed to bring medical evidence. They never went. They never showed up on Friday. But it's okay. We discovered other things. And the police officer that exonerated me the first time, he was there. And Mr. Davis spoke to him, and he told Mr. Davis, "There's nothing to this. David didn't do anything." So I have everything to exonerate me. The only thing is they're acting stupid. They don't want to admit that they were wrong. And now
Yeah.
they're going to try to distance themselves from what my sister said and stuff. But they're neck deep. They're neck deep. And like I said, there will be no compromise. Mark my words, Bob.
Okay,
There will
good.
be no compromise because that's not going to happen.
Good to hear. Good to hear. You're a strong man, David. You're a strong man.
Well, the thing is, I have to be vindicated, Bob. There is no reason for my daughter to have been removed. There is no evidence. Just because they want to, no, Bob. And not a minute longer will I let them keep my daughter after that trial date. I will not capitulate in any way, shape, or form, and I demand an apology for them. Because there's going to be ramifications for what they did to me. There's
Yeah.
going to be justice for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big justice, Bob. Big justice. And I'm going to go to the media with this too. I'm going to make sure that everybody knows what the CPS office in Santa Maria did to me and my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a win-win for
And if I
everybody.
have to pay, and you know what, Bob, and if I have to pay out of pocket, I will go to a media company and I will do what I have to take ads or I have to pay people to go in front of CPS and hold signs. I'm going to do that,
Yeah.
I'm getting my war chest ready because you know what? I'm going to bring attention to what they did because they've done this to everybody. People with limited resources who had no choice, had court-appointed attorneys who weren't worth a hill of beans, who had lost their kids over lies and nothing. This time they messed with the wrong person. Now they pulled the tail of a lion, and now my claws and my fangs have come out. Now I'm going to get justice, not only for me, but for the people who they did wrongs to. I'm going to bring all the attention on top of that CPS office in Santa Maria.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm a little
I'm unleashed.
confused. I thought it was in Santa Barbara County.
It is. Santa
Oh,
Maria is a city in Santa
oh, I
Barbara
thought
County.
she said, never mind. I thought she didn't say Santa Maria. I thought she said Santa Margarita. That's what got me confused.
No, I'm in Santa Maria.
Right. I know
Santa Barbara.
that. I know that. I know that. And you're in Santa Barbara County. I just want to make sure I have my facts right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm going to get
Yeah. Yeah. You are. You are.
And I can't tell you how vindicated I'm starting to feel and how powerful I feel now because now I see the chinks in their armor. I see their faces now. They're worried.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like a boxer. I boxed 8 years in the amateurs, and I've gone into the rings, and I've looked at people. You look at their eyes. You know, if people looking at me now, they're seeing a lion now. I'm a tiger.
Yeah.
And now
Understood.
they're looking like a little, and now CPS is looking like a little gazelle. And before it was David and Goliath. They stepped on me, Bob. They
Yeah.
smashed on me. They did whatever they wanted to me before, but now things have changed. God is good. I couldn't have done this without the help of God. God
Yeah.
and my faith. And Mr. Davis. Davis is a tool that the Lord uses, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you as well, Bob.
Yeah. 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 It's just the hardest part of this whole case is constantly stalling by CPS. They constantly
That's what they're doing.
lying by them. You know, they love to lie. They love to lie.
Yeah, I know, and you know what? We've got them in the. Anyways, when this is done, I'm gonna go on your show and I'm gonna spill it all out
Okay, I would love to
because
have
it's
you.
pretty pathetic.
I'd love to have you as my guest.
Absolutely, and let me warn everybody: CPS, they are the most treacherous uh, entity that there is right now that they can take our kids. Be careful with CPS. Do not trust them one bit. They will lie. These people will lie as long as they accomplish their agenda. They don't care. They have no scruples. They have no ethics. They have no morality. And I can tell you this by experience. It's not because I'm a scorned father, which I am now, but I'm speaking from experience. Never trust them, you know, because they will lie. And like I said, thank God I had some people have come forward, and maybe it was the moral compass, but certain people have come forward that I didn't expect and have told the truth on my behalf.
Yes, I hear you. I really do. So, what time is it? A morning court session?
I will have court at 1:30 on Tuesday
Oh, okay,
in
on
the afternoon,
Tuesday afternoon. Okay, and why is
and
it?
we will set
Why
the
is
trial
it
date.
part of it by Zoom? Why not everybody show up to court? Why is that?
Well, Mr. Davis is all the way in Arcadia, and
Right.
it's only going to take about maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, this right is not necessarily the trial. This is just the fixing the arraignment. Okay,
This,
gotcha,
this, this is just to set the trial date again. They
gotcha.
keep saying time that they postpone my trial.
Well,
And
that's
then
also good in your case because you won't have travel expense costs. So that is good to hear. That's good to hear.
yeah, that's already killed me. I'm already, yeah.
I know. I
I don't
know.
even want to go into. I'll scare people away from Davis. If I say how much I've leaked out, I've bled, I will scare people away. They won't hire Mr. Davis because he's not cheap.
No, I know that he's $500 an hour, and I know that you've already probably spent.
It's a lot more than that.
Oh, is it?
It's more than that.
Okay. Well, then he has a special. You must have a very unique case because his fees can range from 200 to 1,000.
I'm not close to. I'm not at the 1,000 yet, but I'm up there.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Well, when it's all said and done, the smoke's clear. You be thankful that Mr. Davis was there for you. You really will be. Is there anything you can
Yeah.
tell listeners that mistakes you made that you wish you had done it differently? Is there anything you can help out our listeners?
The only thing that I can think of that I can say is do not have confidence that you will get a fair deal. As soon as you walk in the courtroom, you're already at a disadvantage. Do not put your faith in a court-appointed attorney. You know, borrow money, sell your car. You need to have a hired gun. You know, a court-appointed attorney is on the same team. They have no motivation to go above and beyond and to do things that a paid lawyer will effort and just to keep this whole thing rolling. He's not going to go above and beyond to try to break your case open and to put an end to these things. So the biggest thing I want people to take away from my experiences, as soon as you get to court, you're at a disadvantage. They can do whatever they want when they want to do it, and that's the way it's going to be.
Okay.
So you need to have your own lawyer.
Yeah, I hear you about that. There's no question about that.
And don't think that you're in the United States and that there's justice and you're innocent and you're going to go in there. Don't be naive like I was. I was stupid. I believed in the justice system. I thought that the justice system was an equal level justice system. It is not. The court system is rigged. And, have that in mind. There is no justice in the United States anymore. That's a farce. You got to wake up and realize that as long as we continue to go with this bureaucracy that exists and there's no reform, this is what's going to happen. So there is no justice for us, the American citizens here. You're going to get the shitty end of the stick, as they say. So don't go in there being naive like I am, thinking that because you're innocent, everything is going to work out for you, because there is no innocent. Once they have you, they have you, and that's it. And they will do whatever they want.
Right. Watch the profanity on my show. I can't have profanity, so.
I don't think I said anything that was inappropriate.
Well, the 4-letter word begins with an S. It's not appropriate.
Okay, well, poop, I guess.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing. I have no problem with the word, but the show does. They're very rigid. This show is very, very rigid.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I actually have people on here that I've had to ban because I've had a lot of these trolls in here, and I'm starting to look at them right now. Hello there, Rocky. Good to see you. And then Callie, hello there. Callie, I forgot where you're from. Rocky, I forgot where you're from. I think Rocky's from New York, if I'm not mistaken. Callie, I think, is from California. And do you guys got any questions for David or for me? Oh, wait, Callie's from St. Louis. Okay. I know that Sammy is from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he comes here to listen. And Kingdom, I don't know where you're from, Kingdom. And I'm hoping that I have, Denise Donahue. Now, you've been on before. This is Denise. I've been kind of bouncing in and out of this series with Bob. I wanted to say something to the nature of what he said. Don't put your faith in a court appointed law. You need to hire one. Well, what if you don't have the money to hire one? There are some people that can't even pay to rent or to buy groceries or anything like that. Unfortunately for them, because they get no help at all, the court appointed attorney lawyers, my opinion, I know here in West Virginia what that is. Yes, she's from West Virginia. That's right. And it's hard when you have a court appointed attorney because they work for CPS. They're paid by CPS, and they're too lazy, and they're not even trained in juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. And there's a big difference between a court-appointed attorney and an attorney like Mr. Davis. Now, Kingdom says if you don't stand up against for yourself, they'll let it go under the rug. That's true, Kingdom. Okay, Kingdom's from California. I've been on before. Glad to see you back. But Callie is from California. Good, good. Denise is from West Virginia, which puts me back. There's very little hope when having a future with your child if you made a mistake or you slip or you're trying to get help. It's just cut you on you. Addiction is a terrible thing. But motherhood and even fatherhood, I'm sure, I speak for his motherhood is something that's very special and you can't take it lightly. Callie says, what if your family is the law? That is even worse. That's the worst opinion there, Callie. If your mom or dad are sheriffs or police, hopefully they're not corrupt. And then Kingdom says you have to box them to do their job. Well, don't box them. You have to command them to do your job. Document and record and keep your records. I agree. Recording your documents is very, very important, Kingdom. Thank you for sharing that. I know it's hard a lot of times to write things down. And when something like this hangs in your head month after month, year after year, my case Started in 2010. For 5 years, I had false allegations. Then in 2015, they took my kids, and they weren't in danger, but they took them anyway. And for 2 years, I had to fight them. They went from a shelter to my wife's sister's husband and her sister family for a brief while. And then they went to a group home, and then they started going to a single home. The only downside I had was that my daughter was convinced after the social worker committed perjury, she wanted retaliation. So she coached my daughter along with the CASA worker and the courtroom judge. The judge was bad, the social worker was bad, and so was the CASA worker. And all three of them coached my daughter to divorce her parents at the age of 12. Not only that, to change her name completely and to seal her birth certificate and get another social security. In fact, out of the blue, on Thursday, I got a call from Social Security. Now, my daughter's been gone. She's 23 now, was 12. But they're thinking somehow, and I think someone's starting to rumor something, that I misused the funds that I had were given to me for her behalf. You see, she was in school, and um, uh, stopped. They stopped giving me the money because she was in CPS's hands. So I don't know what Social Security is trying to do, trying to double dip me. I don't know. I don't think they're that bad, but I don't know. And I know that Social Security would be really upset if Social Services did something corrupt, which I think they did. I think they're double dipping into my retirement. They're double dipping and taking my retirement. Now, Rocky, we can't use the name of judges here. Please don't use the name of judges.
Well, to all your viewers, I'd like to say this. For those who are religious, put your faith in God. Like I said, miracles happen. I'm seeing it happen. Put my faith in Christ, and I pray. Nothing can happen without the help of God and Christ. And no matter how evil these people are and what they try to do, they're not going to beat God. They're not going to beat Christ. And so, have faith, and I am. And like I said, if everything goes the way that we're expecting, and I have redemption, and I'm able to go after them for everything that they've done, and something big comes of that, I will use that to help a lot of people in the future, because there has to be some kind of an organization where we can help the little guy, people who cannot afford good representation and things like that, because it's an injustice that they can take your children because you can't afford an attorney. And I feel for people. I'm a person of middle class, but I had to get rid of my 401k, and I took huge losses. But it's my little girl, and so I would do everything. I'd sell one of my kidneys if I had to, But that's the only way I could get my daughter back, is to sell everything I had and to get Mr. Davis to get in there and help me and get the best detectives to help me,
Yeah, yeah. Well, appreciate the kind words there, David. It really is good, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you on Tuesday night after you do your court case to see how it came out. That you got your date that you want, but be prepared to get it postponed again. Be prepared. They're going to try
Yeah,
to. They know that you're paying for a private attorney, so they're going to try to milk it really bad. You know.
yeah, they're bleeding me, but you know what? If there's gonna, it's coming to an end. I see the light at the end
Yeah.
of the tunnel.
Good. Good. Glad to hear that. I'm glad you're not discouraged. That always worries me that people get discouraged, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
I was, but after yesterday, what we found out and where I stand now, I'm 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 at peace. I know what's going to happen now.
Oh, good, good. That's a big sigh of relief. And for a lot of you out there, you don't know the importance of hiring a professional attorney. I know it's astronomically high. That's why I try to tell people get legal insurance. I don't mean the kind of legal shield that you pay a subscription fee for doing wills and trusts and things like that. I'm talking about real legal insurance. They'll pay the lawyer's fees and the retainer. You need to get there are insurance companies that will insure legal fees. So you definitely have to look at that. You definitely have to look at that.
Is there one that you recommend, Bob?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been looking at several of them. There's one called MetLife. ARG is another one. Um, Trying to think what else I came across. Your employer may have legal insurance. You need to check with your employer and ask them if they have legal
I'm
insurance.
self-employed.
Well, then that's not going to help there. But you can look on the internet. You can look on the internet, and you just have to shop around like anything else. It's like getting medical insurance or pet insurance or life insurance or household appliance insurance or life insurance and all those things you have to check out.
Okay, well, Bob, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna get off the phone in case somebody wants to call you, but I'll stay in the chat
Okay.
room, like I said. God bless
Okay.
everybody. God bless all of you guys, and keep up the good fight. Okay, thank you, everybody, for being here.
Well, I know that people are praying for you, and thank you, David. Now,
Yes, and I encourage you.
yeah,
Please pray for me.
yeah,
Pray for
we
me and
are.
my daughter, and I pray for all of you.
Okay, thank you, David. All right, that was
Thank you.
David from Santa Maria, who has a good case. He has the attorney. He's going to pause direction. Now, Kingdom, you say utilize ombudsperson. Well, the ombudsmen have not been so good at a lot of different, a lot of CPS entities. The CASA, the ad litem, or the ombudsperson, even the civil rights coordinator at the state have not been very helpful. So you got to be careful of who you talk to. You think you go to the ombudsperson to register a complaint, and you find out they work for CPS. Now, Denise says, and during my granddaughter's and hearing and her case with CPS and the family court, they never, in my opinion, actually helped her. They had her go get an appointment. They didn't help her out getting an appointment. She didn't have a job. She got one that they told her to get a job if they didn't transfer her to a place to interview. She found a way to get there so that she can keep her kids. It still didn't work. It still didn't work. This is sad. Um, they told her she had to take drug tests once a week, and I don't know how many more. You have to go with the flow unless you got a real attorney. Kingdom, amen. Kingdom says. Sometimes you fight so hard, you got to put your hands up and let God fight the battle. I agree. And Callie, her case is so messed up. I want to help you, Callie. I want to help you. Denise, I got interrupted real quick. I believe in God to a point. I lost a lot of faith over the years. There's been a lot of tragedy in my life to make me choose and make me lose it, but made me choose to not only have faith in the higher power. I'm now starting to get back to church and to feel there's something that I have faith in. I'm still not sure. It's going to take me a while, but how can anybody, in my opinion, have faith in something that is not doing them any good or helping? I know you can't have faith in social services. What you can do is your smarts. You need to investigate them to find out about your adversary. It's like people that, play sports. They check who their opponent is. You need to find out all about the social worker, their background, their leaders, and how it's all arranged. So thank you, Callie, for praying for David that he finds justice. That's awful sweet, David. Callie, and David says thank you. I know that. Denise says, and Bob, that legal insurance costs money too. It's just like a car insurance, renter's insurance. A lot of people do not have that, and it's all clear blue sky. The CPS comes on them sometimes for nothing, maybe a call from somebody. They make you mad or get into it with no reason at all. They lose their kids, so they know what you need to do. I know the legal insurance may cost. I did cut a couple quotes at 50 cents a day or $1 a day. Well, if it's $1 a day, that's 365-year premium. I know that's a lot of money, but at $1 a day, that's something that's like, $31 a month. Anyway, it's a lot cheaper than you have to pay a retainer of 5,000, 50,000, or 100,000, or pay lower fees of 200, 500, or 1,000. So that's what the purpose of getting legal insurance. Now, Rocky says legal insurance with a question mark. Yes, there's legal insurance out there. I've heard of 50 cents a day or $1 a day. It's 365 days, the premium is 365 days. I don't know how much deductible you got to have. Hello. Okay, Rocky says, I'm filing complaints to the Virginia Department of Health Professional License Enforcement. Good. That's good. I'm glad you're doing that, Rocky. And he's from West Virginia. I had you kind of wrong there. Now, Medina, I spoke to OIG HSA and had OIG DCF contact me as well. Now, I have no idea what OIG stands for, Medina, or the HHS, at least that's the name. I know what DCF stands for, Department of Children and Family Services. And OIG, I don't know if that's where you're located. Callie says it's going to be hard if my family is heard of HHS and VIA. I have no idea what we're all talking about. I'm not good with acronyms. I'm not good with acronyms. Now, I did put my phone number up there in case anybody wants to call in. I had it up there. Where'd it go? There it is. There's my phone number, 626-698-0990. David called in. You could call in. David called in and you could call in. Now, thank you for sharing the emojis. Hello, George, Roderick, and Vicky Pita. Thank you for the thumbs up. That's another thing you can do. Do emojis and also follow me. And if you want to be notified when I'm on, you can hit the notification button. You can hit the notification button. Now, my phone number is available. I'd love to talk to you about all kinds of things. I've come up with 5 rules that will help you fighting CPS. Rule 1 is get an attorney, a real attorney, not a court appointed attorney. Rule 2 is document everything. Create some forms like a timeline incident log. Every incident you have, you record it and you divide your 3 lines to it. First line is the date and time and either the name of the place you called or the phone number or who you visit. Also, you should put the names of everybody. Here we go. We get another caller. Good evening. This is Bob Pace live on the live stream. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to? I'm sorry, this is who? Oh, yeah. Hi, Denise Donahue. You've been talking to me. I'm sorry, what?
Yes, I have.
Yes. And I'm so glad that you came here tonight because you started to talk about a lot of things and you're worried that you're going every which direction. Now, I think Denise Donahue is from West Virginia, right?
Yes,
Right. I have a good memory. You're from West Virginia. And
yes, right.
what can I do to help you? What question do you have for me, Denise?
Okay. One of the questions I have, I've got so many. I believe it or not, I have written them down. I've got a notebook with me and my granddaughter have written stuff down here. One question, she asked me two questions. One of the questions is, how can a family member like myself, because when my granddaughter's other four children they got adopted out, they never one time asked me or her aunt or anybody else in the family if we wanted, to have the children with us or wanted, to help in any way with the children. Never one time asked about that. Now, how do I make sure? Can I call and say, hey, I want to be put on there so that if the baby comes, I can get the baby instead of going into foster care.
Well, how it works, it's you want to hear how it works?
Yes, please.
Yeah, how it works is that when you're investigated, one of the things that CPS is supposed to do is find a family member the child can stay with instead of put them into foster care. Now they're lazy and they're not doing their job, but the parents can make a list of family members that their children can stay with. I had to do that with my two boys and my daughter. My wife had said the three children could stay with her sister and her husband. But after the sister and the husband were trying to take care of them for a month, they were too burnt out because my kids went to private school and there's a lot of driving around and they're very demanding children. So they got burnt
Yeah.
out. They got burnt out.
So I'm 64 years old. I raised three children, lost my son over an overdose 3 years ago. And I have two daughters now, 10 grandbabies, and four, yes, five actually, great grandbabies. And I love them all so dearly. But I'm not sure I can handle it right now. But I don't want to give up either and not be there.
Well, here's the thing you got to ask yourself. As a grandparent, you're going to get older. As we all age, some people have two times. They have their biological time and the time that is just based in numbers. Now, the time in
Okay.
numbers is when you're born. So, see, it's simple to figure out. If you're born in 1950 and it's the year 2000, then you've got 50 years. But those are your years on Earth. There's something called biological time. Now, biological time may be 10, 15, 20 years lagging, meaning that you do not look that age, you don't feel that age, and your biological time is that maybe instead of being 50, you're 80, even
Right,
though,
right.
yeah. So you have to ask yourself, do you feel fit enough to handle these kids? Because kids are very demanding.
Well, it will only be the one now because the other four have been adopted out in a very fine home, and that just it makes me so happy at that. So it will just be the one that I thought, there comes a time in our life I kind of felt that, since my son died, my whole life just shattered. But I want to do me, and it's kind of hard to put aside and be able to take into another human, which would be my great grandbaby. I can't come up back on him either. He's so precious. And I just don't know what to do. I'm afraid my granddaughter is struggling really hard with everything. And I'm worried that something might happen to her. It's just everything, it seems like it's falling apart. It just never gets any easier.
No, I know it doesn't. I know it's frustrating. I have a guide that I put a banner up on my screen. It's called the Grandparents Guide. It's a step by step guide of how to adopt your grandchildren or your great
Mm-hmm.
grandchildren. It tells you step by step how to adopt your children. Now, it's available at that website, stand.store. There's the complete website I put on my banner. And if you go there,
Right.
it only costs $9.99. But I have a discount running right now, and you get it all for half off, less than $5. All you have to do is use my name, capital letters, PACE, and the number 5050. That's PACE 50, all capital letters. And you'll get 50% off that guide. So it's less than $5. And that guide will help you step by step how to adopt your grandchildren.
Well, let me ask you something else. I went uh, when this was going on with her other children, and towards the end is when I come across your series. And you really, I don't want to say this, you do not know how often I would sit and just listen to people talking to you and you talking to them. And you just taking the time out of your life because of your experience to help other people is extraordinary. So I commend you for that, Bob. And,
Well, yeah, I got something. I got my biological years. Excuse me. I got my number years on there because I've been around here for 75 years. So I have 61 years of life experiences. So I've been around the horn a little bit, and I've been fighting CPS for 15 years. And fortunate enough, been blessed by talking to 2,600 people from around the world. They have CPS issues.
right. Well, the other thing, one other thing I wanted to ask you, and then I'll let other people get in on this thing, 'cause I don't want to take all the thing of it. When if she was to go, and you might not be able to answer this really, but what are the chances of her, because and Bob, she really did not, we had no clue that she was pregnant. It was crazy. We had no clue whatsoever. She actually was sitting with her girlfriend, and she said to her girlfriend, "My back is killing me. Oh, Lord, I'm having a baby." That's what the girl said. She said to her, "Catch, you're going to play catcher." And the girl in, okay, coming out of her, and this just 2 nights ago in her apartment, because she had him at home. But what I'm getting at is, yes, she had been doing drugs. Unfortunately, God, unfortunately, she does have a drug addiction. And yes, the baby came back with having withdrawals and stuff. Okay, and it's so sad. It's so sad. But if she was to go, when she wants to get help, and when she goes to get help, maybe we think there's a possibility that they will let me or my other daughter have, treatment.
Well, they will because you've been suggested on a list. Your daughter can say, I have a list of relatives that I want my daughter to live with, and she can list your name. All you have to do is be checked out. You'll be vetted, and then your place will be inspected, and then they'll make procedures. Again, if you get that guide, it gives you step by step detail of how to adopt your granddaughter because that's what you want to do. You want to adopt her.
I don't know yet. I want her to have him. It's very important that she.
Well, when she straightens out, you can return your granddaughter back to her.
Okay, I got you. My grandson.
Right, your
Yes, I
grandson. I'm
understand.
sorry. I meant the daughter, your granddaughter. Not your granddaughter,
Yes,
your daughter that had the grandchild, the grandson. Yes, your daughter did.
yes.
I sometimes get a little confused. And by the way, I want to say hello to Betty Joe from Montana. Hello, Betty Joe. And I'm fine. I'm fine. We have a quite an active room in here. We had David Hilago from Santa Maria, who has a very important case on Tuesday. We've had Rocky, and we've had Callie and Medina, and then we've had who else have we had? Cynthia Livingston. Um, if you want to schedule time with Vincent Davis, Cynthia, all you do, and let me take off that banner and put up the schedule, the time there. To schedule a time with Vincent Davis, you just call 888-888-6582. You'll speak to reception. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. There is a fee for consultation, and they will tell you when you call in at the number 888-888-6582. So I want you to do that there. You see, who was that? That was Cynthia Livingston. That's who it was. I don't know where you're from, Cynthia, but it's glad to talk to you. Medina and Kelly's from California. Medina, we have Denise on the phone right now, who's the grandparent, and she's trying to take care of her grandson. And we've had Kingdom and Sammy from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Rocket Man. What else do we have here? That's about it. We have a lot of people here tonight. And I really want to thank all these listeners and all these people. Rocky Man is from New York, but his brother lives in Virginia. That's right. His brother's from Virginia. His brother had a case, and Rocket Man is from New York. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha. So you can get that grandparents guide, and you can also call in that number 888 and get the guide that way. You can give them the discount code. My discount code is the name PACE, PACE, all capital letters, the number 50 following. PACE 50 will get you 50% off the grandparents guide. That's normally $9.99. So we do have help for grandparents. Grandparents are just as important as parents. Now I just looked at my clock and I'm scared because it now says it's 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and I must end my live stream. Tonight's my youngest son's birthday. Yeah, right. I'm going to have to go, but I'll be on again tomorrow morning. I'll be on again to. Uh huh. Okay, okay. I'll be on again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. That's Sunday morning, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm on the west coast of California. So if you're on the east coast, that's 3 hours. You're on Central Time, it's 2 hours. Mountain Time, you're 1 hour. So like Montana is 1 hour. They're on Mountain Time. And Texas is on Central Time. So it depends what part of. But anyway, I'm on California time. And I'll be on again tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to have to.
Thank you very much for
Right.
taking the time to listen to my situation. I also want to say that to everybody that's on it, I will pray for you. You all keep me in your prayers, and hopefully everybody will have some good outcomes to all this situation.
It's so.
To go now, and I'll catch you on the next trip.
You bet. You bet. Denise Donahue from West Virginia. It's such a pleasure knowing you. It's a pleasure. You're part of my family. So I'm glad you call in and talk. And as all my listeners should know, I do help you out there. I helped David get his attorney with Mr. Davis. I've helped out Margaret King get a day with Mr. Davis. There's a lot of people I do help. Some people are not in the room tonight. There's Cruella, who is Felicia's from Oxnard, California. There's many of you out there. There's Dorothy Cook from North Carolina. There's Christina Reynosa from Las Vegas, Nevada. I could go on and on about the wonderful people I've met on here. You guys are part of my family. I'm here to help you, and you come here to help other people, which is good news, which is good news. So, anyway, with that being said, I'm going to wind down the show and I'm going to thank uh, Rocky from New York for being in here. Betty Joe, it's always so sweet to see you. Betty Joe, by the way, is a foster care mom. And so I'm so glad you're in here, Betty. Medina, it's so good that you're here. I haven't talked to you in a while, but I'm glad to hear from you. Callie, I'm glad to see you here. And let me see what else we have here. Medina, Cynthia Livingstone. I'm glad to see you here. And we have Medina and Denise Donahue, who's on my phone right here, just called. We had David Halago call in, Callie Medina, Rocky, and then we have our friend from Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is where are you? We have Kingdom Studios in. I've had a lot of people here tonight. Wow. Um, there he is, Sammy. Sammy's from uh, Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I want to thank you all for being a part of my live stream. Remember, I'll be on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Do not forget to fight for your children. You want to get your children back. Do not give up. There is no giving up. You need to have your children back in your lives. And you can do it. You can do it, and I can help you do it. Now, there's a brief video when I sign off that I want you to listen to. It's a really good video. You enjoy it. With that being said, this is now Denise Donahue and Bob Pace signing off. God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith